From the gridiron to the diamond, this is more than X's and O's. This is your best Florida sports podcast with CBS 12 News sports director John Evenson, producer extraordinaire Sam Sullivan, and Max Shepman with the lighter side of sports.
Welcome to episode 13.
New intro
of the
alert.
Best Florida
New
Sports
intro
Podcast.
alert.
New shirts.
New shirts.
Look at
New
this.
shirts. New
New
intros.
setup.
John's already ready for Thanksgiving.
He's gonna unwrap these
or
for next
Thanksgiving.
week.
These guys
Christmas.
brought in like stuff, like bobbleheads and balls and stuff, and that's what I asked for Christmas. And I think these were under the tree, so I'm hoping when I open these, I'll look.
Are you gonna do it next week?
Guys
Are you gonna do it?
that.
Are you gonna do it Christmas week?
Yeah, I'll open it on that show.
Okay.
But we can't play the Dolphins theme. That's our tradition when
You know
they
what
win.
you know what
I'll
I can
play
play?
this instead. Sad violin music.
Single teardrop coming from.
We
just
we
need
were
to add some snowflakes.
we were full.
to the set.
We had eaten all of our turkey, our stuffing, mashed potatoes. We went back for seconds. We were so excited for that Dolphins Thanksgiving night game.
And now we just have the world's smallest violin.
Is that what this is? Sounds pretty grand.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty grand. to
Sounds
me.
like we're about to walk onto the Titanic.
I don't like playing that song at the beginning of our show as much as when they win, but something does it seem weird? This seems like there's more to talk, more juicy stuff to talk about when they lose in horrific
There's
fashion.
more drama around the Dolphins when they lose than like excitement around the Dolphins when they win.
Yeah.
And it was all the stuff. So it was the triple threat, as we mentioned, going into. It seems weird talking about it because it was so long
Feels
ago.
like
now.
almost a
Normally
week.
we're coming
2
right
years
off
ago,
the game,
yeah.
but we got to do it. Cold weather games, primetime games, and playoff caliber teams. All three of them.
Yeah.
It came true. The cold thing. Are you okay? Do you guys? I've been thinking about this a lot. Do you guys think that there really is a cold game problem? You
Yes,
do.
absolutely.
Why do you think that's
Okay, so here we go.
23 missed tackles,
Just
maybe?
Real
Yeah.
quick fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously yesterday was out in the field. We did the morning shift. It was, I forget the exact temperature, what it was yesterday morning.
Cold.
I am a native Floridian.
Yes.
It's all I've ever lived in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I was freezing. And like for me being a photographer here, you got to hold the camera, put up lights. I was barely able to do that job in like 40-degree weather. Meanwhile, Lambeau, it's below freezing. I can only imagine what that's like.
Were you wearing mittens?
I had my rain pants on, I had my hoodie on, a long sleeve shirt, and then I threw my rain jacket on top of that because I was freezing.
So you think
So
there-
I believe the cold curse.
But what about, Sam, the fact that, first of all, both teams are dealing with this cold weather.
Yes.
There are a mixed array of geographical locations where all of these people grew up and played football.
Yes.
It's like, Chop Robinson, he's played in the cold.
Yeah.
Guys like that. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa is the ultimate example of a guy who's not used to playing in the snow, being from the islands.
And then playing at Bama doesn't
but,
really
who-
get too cold at
It does
Bama.
not.
He went to go see. He went to go see Moana with the whole team the other day.
Did he really?
Moana 2. Yeah, he
Little
treated the
field trip?
team.
Nice.
Treated the team because it's his
They
homeland.
should have
The
watched
movie-
Remember the Titans instead. Get themselves
Friday
back on
Night
track.
Lights.
Maybe that was the problem.
That was.
They went
They
to go
watched
see
the
Moana
wrong-
2,
No.
and then but it was after the game.
At least see
Yeah.
Gladiator 2 or something. I don't know. But I think the biggest difference between, obviously they're both playing in, cold weather games. Each team has to deal with that environment. I think the biggest thing that the difference between the two is the Packers get to practice, hitting each other in that cold weather. When you get hit in that cold weather,
It is not fun.
It hurts. You feel it all throughout your body. And they're able to practice that all week long.
When we take Sam and we throw him into the cold shower at work just because of his work is
Right.
faltering. As
I
a
start to fall
punishment,
asleep.
Below the standard.
He knows that he's
It's a wake-up call.
Bad producer.
Yeah, that's what Tua needs.
Well, you bring up, like the drama part of it, and we've kind of covered this a couple of times already. The Dolphins being called soft.
Yes.
I do want to go there, but before I just want to finish up this cold thing.
Okay.
has anyone ever thought of the concept here, that, you go to Green Bay and of course the cold gets us again. Maybe the Green Bay Packers are just straight up a better team than the Miami Dolphins.
yeah.
I agree with that. 1,000%.
Like the game, you could see, 23 missed tackles, there's a sign. I think they didn't want to get as physical and stuff like that. But the Packers took full advantage of all of the Dolphins' weaknesses, and we're seeing this a lot. And who are the teams that the Dolphins are always playing in these cold environments that they lose to?
Playoff
oh my gosh,
caliber.
they lost to the Buffalo Bills because it was cold outside.
Yeah.
Or, Kansas City Chiefs, coldest game in history. Of course they lost. You
saw what the Bills did in snowy weather against the
San
49ers.
Francisco.
Completely dominated. So it's not just. It's the weather plays a factor, yes.
But that's where it did play a factor with the 49ers.
But it just
right?
shows that it's a better team.
Yeah.
The Bills are obviously better than the 49ers.
But that was like playing on a ice rink.
Yeah.
That wasn't just cold.
Yeah.
That's fair. Because, Lambeau does have the heating technology in the field, under the field.
Interesting.
But tell us more.
That's all I know.
That's all
I
he's
know is
got.
they have a heater underneath the field.
Wow.
So that way the grass doesn't freeze up.
So maybe that was the problem. They only heated one side.
Oh.
Do they have control of what side they heat?
Why are you asking me like I'm the
like a
field
seat-
ops
it's
for
like
the
a seat
Packers
heater.
over here? Let's write Roger Goodell. Roger, real quick, can you get back to that? Evanson has a question for you.
Yes.
Heatgate. It'll be the new one.
There you
the
go.
new Heatgate.
Deflategate? What? Deflategate, Heatgate. We're all over the gates.
We're almost there.
What about Softgate?
So
Softgate.
Jordan Brooks brought it up. We didn't bring it up. Jordan, a member of the Miami Dolphins, post-game said, we played soft. We played soft. And McDaniel said a few days later, he was talking specifically about tackling. But yeah, of course he was. But that narrative was there going in, and now it's stronger than ever.
Yeah, and I think him saying it the way he did to reporters, that's going to make the biggest difference for this team because it's not something that's just internal. You've just now put it out there to the world. So, and now it's up to them to redeem themselves and fix that issue. On top of them playing soft, they had 10 penalties, both sides of the ball. Malik Washington muffs a punt that completely, just like that, they get that touchdown immediately. The Packers
What
do.
did we say going in? No mistakes. You can't make dumb mistakes.
Got to
in these
play your
games.
Yeah, it's just
cleanest
a bunch
football.
of self-inflicted wounds. And on top of that, the Dolphins had 6 more minutes of possession time. 6 more minutes, nearly half of a quarter, and still lost by multiple touchdowns.
Well,
all 6 of those minutes were at 2nd and 1,
Yeah.
3rd and 1, 4th
Well,
and 1.
well, like
No points for
exactly,
you.
like you said, like again, the weather plays into it, but I believe it was the start of the fourth quarter, or early in the fourth quarter. Dolphins at the Green Bay one. They have 4 chances at it. They don't get it.
Yep.
I believe it was like 27-11 at the time of the game.
And then I felt like this.
It was like the sinking of the Titanic with the Dolphins playoff hopes.
When they were 2nd and 1,
But here you go. Look, so here you go. 2nd down, it was an H-hand run, get stuffed.
gonna fade out, fade out.
Hey, you want to be the audio guy for this? Because that was
good
pretty
fade.
good. That was
was
pretty
good.
good. 3rd down, I believe it was a Jonnu incomplete pass. And then 4th down, Tua gets sacked because Alec Ingold trips over, I believe it was Kendall Lamb.
Yeah.
So the softness part of that, if you don't feel like you can run 4 straight times at the 1-yard line,
Yeah.
there's a big problem there.
Yes.
And we'll get more into talk about the running game a little bit more. But again, we've talked about
The
this
running game has been soft.
Right.
The past
But,
3 games.
Again, we've talked about this before. When Jordan Poyer signed here, he's like, oh, yeah, Dolphins fold easy. Then remember a couple weeks ago, we talked about Deshaun Elliott saying the Dolphins were soft as fake. Yeah, you'd appreciate that.
Fake as fake can be.
So is it a concerning trend that more and more players are starting to come out and say, hey, this team really is pretty soft?
Yeah, it's
a big
it's
issue.
a trend here. It's trending.
Yeah.
It's trending.
CC Twitter.
And not in the right way.
No.
Twitter, what's that?
X.
Oh, you mean X?
X,
I've
sorry.
never heard of such things called
Sorry,
Twitter.
Elon.
The next thing is, can the Miami Dolphins, can they really win 5 straight?
Here's what I guarantee you will happen. Okay, here we go. We beat the Jets this Sunday.
Yes.
They pull off the best win of the season against Houston. That's the game. That's the playoff caliber team that they finally beat. Oh my gosh, here we go.
Hot take.
We go to Cleveland. It's could be flex.
Don't forget the Niners game.
Oh, Niners. So they beat the Niners. There's too many problems there. McCaffrey's out for the season, yada, yada. Then they go to Cleveland. This is a must-win. We gotta shake this prime time thing and this cold thing. And they win that one. So it all comes down. They have to beat the Jets in New York on the final game of the season, and they lose. Wow. That would be...
So they finished 9-8.
That would be so Dolphins if that happened. I'm joking, tongue-in-cheek kind of, but couldn't you just kind of picture that happening?
You could see it happening like that. Just bringing the Dolphins fans on a whirlwind, a roller coaster, which is they've already been through this season. I mean, anything could happen.
Without even Aaron Rodgers at the helm in the last game, like they
oh my gosh, could you imagine?
Imagine if Jordan Travis,
I was about to say they put
Benjamin's own, West Palm Beach's own, Jordan Travis plays the final game and just tears his hometown team heart right out.
Listen, the NFL just. Rick Horrow keeps saying it on Inside the Billions. It's the one league where, I forget the wording he uses, but more or less, you can go so deep into the season and still have hope. And so many crazy things happen. Of course, yes, they could win 5. I think they could win 5 straight games here, you know?
Well, you look at it. Okay, let's go over the schedule real quick. You brought up Houston, the Jets. Mm-hmm. I feel comfortable chalking that up as a win.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Yes.
The Texans, C.J. Stroud, obviously not having the year that he did last year.
Sophomore slump.
Right. So who knows with that one? You feel more comfortable with the Dolphins with that, knowing that C.J. Stroud is not having a great year this year.
That's the game.
Plus, Stephon Diggs is injured, yada, yada.
Yeah.
The 49ers game, we saw it. They crumbled on national TV against the Bills. Granted, the Bills are great, but you talked about Christian McCaffrey's out.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason's out as well.
Yeah.
So, they're losing pieces left and right.
Yeah.
And I don't think Brock Purdy can...
They're another type of 5-17.
Correct.
I feel like the Dolphins are getting guys back.
Right.
It's all the talent's right there, but they just can't figure it out.
Then Cleveland. Who the hell knows you get with Jameis? I mean, we saw it against Denver. He threw for 6 touchdowns, but 2 of them went into his own end zone.
Did you hear Jameis's post-game interview?
Yes.
Where he was like, I'm asking
the
God
Lord
to save me from pick sixes.
That's it.
Oh
and then, obviously the last game of the year, the
best.
Jets, you think that would be a chalk-up win. But, again, it's cold weather at MetLife. Jets could play, spoiler, is Aaron Rodgers' final goodbye to New York if he's playing in that game. So you never know.
Yeah, that'll be let's bring in one more guest. Since I've got my phone in my hand, I'm really into
music.
Chat GPT.
Oh boy.
Do you know this?
I'm
it might
familiar.
not work in here because of the Wi. I might get. Yeah, I'm gonna get burned here. We don't have. Yeah. Anyway, I was gonna ask Chat GPT if we could win 5 straight, but we'll have to put that as
Stay tuned
as a
Stay
podcast
tuned.
extra.
Well, you know what we
I'll
can
ask for
talk
some
about.
Wi-Fi for Christmas.
You know what we can talk about
What?
and get an answer on. What the hell is happening with the Dolphins running game?
Well, I talked about this. This is maybe a good segue to get into with our guest this week,
Yes.
our analyst. We've talked to him before. He's a great guy, Travis Wingfield. He has a podcast called Drive Time, which you can listen to every day. He's always pumping up new Dolphins stuff and Dolphins HQ. But obviously listen to Best Florida Sports Podcast.
Yeah.
And then when that's done...
The shirt says it. The shirt
Drive
says
Time
it.
doesn't have these shirts, and so obviously we're a little...
Biased.
We've got that. We've got the shirts.
We've got the shirts.
But Travis Wingfield, he's got the knowledge. Here he is. We are here with Travis Wingfield. We enjoyed talking to you so much a few weeks ago. Thank you for joining us again. Drive Time is where you listen to this guy every day, his podcast, and Dolphins HQ on YouTube.
Yeah, we're excited to have all the content for all platforms, all mediums. Good to talk to you again as well as we get this beautiful December South Florida weather upon us.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Now, hopefully the rest of the season is gorgeous too. Maybe you're the best guy to ask. What is the best roadmap here to 5 straight wins? And do you think that that's what it's going to take, or do you think 4 will do it?
Yeah, I think the result in Week 13 across the NFL was kind of the blow to the Dolphins' chances at 9-8 because you got so many wins that probably shouldn't have happened the way they did, but it went that way against them really every step of the way. So now you probably have to go 5-0, going to have to beat the Jets twice, win at the Browns, beat the Texans in Houston, and then win against the Niners here at home. But I think with the 2 games that you look at as the hardest in that stretch is Houston and San Francisco, and those are 2 teams that aren't playing playing up to the expectations that they had coming into the year. The Niners have a bunch of injuries, just added Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason to IR. So what team will you get when they come here in a couple weeks? It starts this week, beat the Jets, and we'll talk about the Texans next week.
And then, of course, Jameis Winston and the Browns, they're no schlumps anymore. I mean, we've seen what he can do, and that's a game, if I'm not mistaken, in Cleveland. So that would be the cold element situation again.
On Sunday night as well, unless they flex that game out, which probably could happen at this point. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because you watch that game on Monday with Jameis, and I was texting a buddy like, we either get 4 touchdown Jameis or 4 interception Jameis, and he happened to do both of them in that game. So whether he shows up in that game or not probably dictates how close of a game it is.
Well, little birdie told me up in that tree that you were talking to the little birdie earlier, and you were saying this might be, I don't want to put words into your mouth, but this might be the week for those fantasy owners who have been skittish about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to maybe put them in the lineup.
Yeah, go ahead and put the words in my mouth, because I think the way the Jets defense plays, and you can go back to last year as well, that Black Friday game and the game down here, they had long passes to Waddle, the 60-yard touchdown against DJ Reed. He also had a 35-yard catch in the game on Black Friday, and Tyreek Hill had a 32-yard catch going over the top of DJ Reed in that game as well. So the reason I think it could happen this week is the Jets defense really invites the vertical passing game, because they believe, and they should with their good cornerbacks, that they can press and disrupt you and win that matchup off the edge. But the Dolphins have something that really nobody else has in 2 elite 4-2 receivers that can get deep on you. So I think this week, if they want to play that style of football, and I think they will, the Dolphins are going to have chances to go vertical on them.
So what has gone on with the running game over the past few games? Like, I would have thought we might have seen some more long bombs because, the running game has been suffering so much. You think that there's so much attention out there, but I know you analyze every detail of this tape. It's not an easy answer either, but what do you think has gone wrong with the run game lately?
I think if you told fans 2 years ago that losing Austin Jackson would be a major blow, they would say, like, whoa, pump your brakes on that. But he's come into his own and become one of the best right tackles in the NFL for my money. He was a really big impact player in the running game, so his absence has been felt. I feel they can get more off the edge in the tight end position as far as blocking goes. And then I think, Devon Achane's a great player, but sometimes I think he can kind of get off of his track in terms of how he sees it open up. So it's kind of a combination of execution and scheme and loss of a player due to injury. So it's kind of threefold.
Do you see them applying the short passing game a little more than the running game in this upcoming game against the Jets?
That's been the answer with the running game struggling the last 3 weeks, is they've just gone strictly to the short passing game, screen game, jet sweeps, all that kind of dress it up and gadget play to get the run game going. So I think you'll see more of that, but we'll see, because I think the Jets are going to press the issue in this one. They have nothing to lose. So I think it's going to be kind of a feast or famine game for the Dolphins offense.
And as a Dolphins fan, a lifetime fan, I know you are, you must salivate for a game like this against the AFC East, one of the big foes, Aaron Rodgers, who's been, I don't know what you think about him, but he's just been kind of something else this year in a different way, hasn't he?
It's funny. I got like 20 years worth of social media posts I can go back to, and every day on my memories something comes up where it's like, well, the Dolphins may have lost again, but at least the Jets' misery is still there for us to enjoy. And it's kind of been that way for like 20 years, and this year's been kind of the best because they were supposed to be a Super Bowl team and they're 3-9. So I love it. I always tell my friends, the only thing I love more than Dolphins' success is Jets' failure. So big week, fun beating these guys. Let's keep it rolling for them.
He is salivating a little bit right here. Just grab that. It's right there. Yeah, watch out. All right. Well, thank you so much, Travis. Appreciate it. Can't wait.
All right, so despite all that's gone wrong with the Dolphins in this past game, I mean, Tua is still performing at a very high level. He went 37 of 46, 365 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 5 times, a little bit on him not being able to get the ball out on the offensive line. Since he's been back, if I've got this correct, 13 passing touchdowns to 1 interception. Is Tua Tagovailoa an upper echelon quarterback, Max?
I guess it's the definition of what is upper echelon. Do I think he's top 5? No. Do I think he's top 10-ish? Probably.
Top 10.
I'd probably put him in top 10.
Okay.
Because, when you think about the tiers, you got the Burrows of the world, Patrick Mahomes. I still think Lamar Jackson's better.
For sure.
I think Justin Herbert's better. Obviously, he had a couple down years in L.A., but he's really come back.
Yes.
So I think Tua for sure is a top 10 guy. Obviously, I think we all know at this table there are not many elite quarterbacks in the NFL. I think Tua's firmly in the top 10. Obviously, I think this new offense is really helping him out. The dink and dunks and whatever, and obviously that opens up the playbook down the line.
I love the way Travis, by the way, talked about it there, though, that this could be the week that we see some of those long bombs.
They open him up.
Yeah. He thinks that the Jets defense is susceptible to that. So that'll be a fun game to watch.
Right.
If that's true.
So I think he's firmly in the top 10.
What about you?
I don't think he's going to be a quote unquote upper. Well, again, it's the definition, right?
Right.
What's the definition, right? But the definition in my definition of upper echelon quarterback is a quarterback who has the stats that you. I mean, this is a guy who led the league in passing passing yards a couple years ago, and touchdowns, a couple other categories.
Yeah,
right?
I thought it was last season it was yards.
Yeah, and I think even this year, since he's come back from his concussion, he's like, I think either top 5 or top 3.
Take that chunk of the season.
Right.
Right.
Top 5, top 3 in completion.
So that's one half of the equation, but the other half of the equation, which hasn't been solidified yet, is being that quarterback that's able to put his team on his shoulders and win the type of games that we saw them lose in Green Bay, and to win that game in Kansas City in the Frozen Tundra game and the wild card. Until he does that, and they win a darn playoff game, I don't think he can be officially an upper echelon quarterback.
That's fair. And we talked about, obviously, the schedule for the rest of the season. The Texans are the only team that is currently in the playoff picture. I mean, I think we can write it up now. I don't think the Jets are making the playoffs. It doesn't look like the Browns are
Hot
going to
take, dude. Hot take.
So think about it. No, but think about, like, that is a hot take in the way that, like, there is an easy path to win 5 straight here.
Yes.
But it's that playoff team stigma with Houston and everything.
I mean, even San Francisco is struggling. The talent that they have,
On defense.
right?
Even.
Playoff caliber.
Yeah.
So
Playoff caliber, yep.
And we all know Kyle Shanahan. He has a habit of putting random people in places to succeed. Did anybody think? Why can I?
Jordan Mason.
I don't want. Why do I want to call him like Jordan Lewis or something like that?
Jerry Lewis.
Jordan Mason filled in with Christian McCaffrey right out, and he did well.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's tough.
It's tough. I want to open these presents so bad.
No, dude. Then you'll get cold for Christmas.
What do you think is
honestly? If you open those presents right now, I'm taking away that shirt.
All right.
Wow.
There's like a.
Leave it alone.
The next
like a
topic,
Megan
leave it alone.
if the Dolphins can't make the playoffs, is Mike McDaniel gone, or is Chris Greer gone?
Well, doesn't there seem to be like, wow, that would be crazy, right? Because there's so much locked in here, especially with all these contracts that were signed, like literally 2 weeks before the season started. I feel like I'm getting choked up here, remembering those contracts.
Drink that coffee.
Like, the problem is, I guess I was thinking about this, is like McDaniel and Tua are so linked. I think I've said that. Like,
Yes,
we've talked about that before. Like, Tua's success, and obviously him coming out and saying how Brian Flores, allegedly, he says, sort of stripped down his confidence, and he was not good for his NFL play.
Yeah.
Then McDaniel was the guy who came in and turned him into the NFL Tua with all those great stats that we're talking about.
Right.
So those guys are linked together. And then in some weird way, McDaniel is also linked together separately with Greer, because they talk so much about how they make a great team and they make all these decisions together. Problem is, the decisions that were made about the construction of the team have left a lot to be desired. So I would say more likely Greer.
Yeah. Your thinking is kind of like mine.
Yeah.
Is obviously Mike McDaniel has the Tua concussion card to play. He's like, oh, if we would have had Tua all year, blah blah blah.
Right.
Do I think either one gets fired? No.
You don't think Greer gets fired either?
I don't.
Yeah.
Who do I blame more on this year is obviously Chris Greer.
Sure.
Because as you alluded to, it was the construction of this roster.
So many blatant mistakes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, like, at some point, like, you kind of look at the general manager, like, okay, like, he needs to give Mike McDaniel more talent, yada, yada, have a backup plan just in case if Tua gets hurt. Maybe a Daniel Jones signing would have helped there. Who knows? Obviously, he's with the Vikings now. We don't know what this offseason holds.
Right.
You think if Daniel Jones had played those 3 games instead of Snoop and Skyler, that they could have won 1 or 2 of those?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Yeah.
I think he could have beat Tennessee.
Yes. Jeez.
I think they need to have like a veteran guy. as the backup.
Isn't Daniel Jones a veteran guy?
I guess.
He's on the cusp. Yeah.
Like a respectable veteran guy.
But I know this is kind of getting a little off topic here, but Danny Dimes is almost, I don't want to say this, don't take too much into it, but he's almost kind of like a similar Tua. But he moves a little bit more.
Yes.
So when you're running him out of the pocket, you can design up rollouts for Danny Dimes with a little, he can either take it and run or pass it down. So I think like if they would have made the Danny Dimes signing, I think that would have been okay. I think he would have been okay in Mike McDaniel's offense. So again, a little off track here. If I think
Did you buy me a Daniel Jones bobblehead? Is that what this is?
Custom Dolphins jersey.
Custom Dolphins jersey from NFL.com.
From the same places we got these awesome shirts.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
I shouldn't have wore gray pants. That's the only mistake.
That's all right.
Boy.
Gray
Here we
pants
go.
with
Talk about
50,
style.
50 Shades of Gray.
But yes,
Anyways.
To get back on track here, I think if
50 Shades
anything,
of Gray.
oh God,
Where did that come from? That just took a real turn.
I said it. You didn't have to pick up on me saying it. I was trying to sneak it in there just for people who listen to my microphone.
Come on, you know,
I'm not even
Evanson,
going to venture in.
Evanson has the habit of keeping those jokes alive.
Right.
But yes, if anything happens to anybody, I think it's Chris Greer. But I think they're okay. I think if next year goes off the rail, this is a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
You know who I talked to in the locker room earlier on this Wednesday before we rush back to you guys? A rookie.
We love good rookies.
You know who it was? You know who the rookie was who I talked to? Big guy, towers over me. He's learning.
That's tough to say considering like you're a tall dude.
Tall guy.
Yeah.
He is starting to. He'll probably get more play as the season goes on, especially if they lose a game because they don't want to burn out a guy whose first name is Tehran.
Oh, Teron Armstead is the guy you're talking about.
I'm talking about Patrick. He's not a rookie. Patrick Paul.
Oh, all right.
The offensive tackle, Patrick Paul. Am I getting ahead of myself? He's
You're
a rookie,
not.
right?
I believe he is.
Yeah, Patrick Paul.
I love that he's tossing to this and he has no idea.
I can confirm.
No, I lose track of these drafts, But anyway, I'll tell you one thing about this guy. He's a man of few words, but he's a very positive guy. And does he ever feel lucky and not intimidated? I asked him, you think he'd be intimidated playing, being Teron Armstead's backup?
Right.
But he's looking at all the positives here. Here is my one-on-one here's John Patrick Evanson's one-on-one with Patrick Paul. It's my middle name. So Patrick, heading towards the Jets game now, there's no room for error literally now. I mean, what is the roadmap, do you think, to winning 5 straight and making the playoffs?
I'd say just doing exactly what we're coached to do, and that's go out there and execute with fundamentals and technique.
What has it been like learning from Tehran?
And learning from him, Kendall Lamb, all the vets in the room, it's been a blessing. All of them, they've poured into me, and I can't be thankful enough and blessed enough to be a part of a great O-line room. So, yeah.
He's so, cordial with us, and he just answers all our questions. Very thoughtful guy. What is he like as kind of like because I guess in some ways he coaches you, I'm sure. Yeah. So maybe there's a future in that for him. But what is he like? What is it like to learn under him? What is he like?
He's a great teacher. Met him prior at O-line masterminds and stuff. He just loves the game, but. They're tough on me, just being the vets in the room and me being the rookie, obviously. They're tough on me, but it's all out of love.
Is it tough when, they try to, minimize his reps late in games and you're going in for the great Teron Armstead and instead of just going in and learning at your own pace? Like, you've got one of the best there's ever been there that you're replacing.
Definitely. I mean, it's one of those things, you get drafted to a place and it's a blessing to have someone like him. So, just waiting on my turn. You know how it is.
What do you think the team can do to improve on the running game, which has been lacking maybe the past 3 games?
Fundamentals and technique. That's all it's about.
Is there anything different that you're noticing when you watch from the sideline that maybe you guys have to get back to?
No, not really. I think we're just going to attack it each week, and this week we're going to go full steam and attack them.
I don't think this locker room has lost confidence at all that you guys are going to be playing postseason football, right? I mean, where does that positive energy come from?
Yeah, I definitely don't think that anyone's lost, confidence in us, and I just think it comes from, us having that bond as a team. So, just knowing that we can keep going.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we're going to do things a little different this week. I decided to put on the Jets analyst cap.
Yeah.
I will say it did get a little depressing. It's tough to be a Jets fan. I've got my entire family is Jets fans. They understand it's been a struggle for a long
We should
time.
have got Sam's family on
Did you go
the
around
podcast
and
for
interviewed
this.
them from home?
Yeah, I
and-
did. I got to
yeah.
watch the game actually with my uncle, who's been a diehard Jets fan his entire life,
Oh.
and that was a tough one to go up 14-0 against the Seahawks on Sunday and just completely blow it. I mean, that game was all over the place. They had a 99-yard kickoff return touchdown. They blocked a Seahawks PAT. They got one of their own PATs blocked, and Aaron Rodgers was, I don't know what was up with him.
At any point in any Jet fan in your family during this projectile vomit across the room?
It's actually called scromiting. It's where you scream and throw up at the same
Ooh,
time.
wow.
That is intense.
That should be
Yeah.
Webster's word of the year next year.
Yeah, shout out Katie Benty. She actually taught me that.
You should have her on the show too.
Good.
Yeah, she could.
Good.
She could talk.
Get these guests lined up.
Yeah, that's right. We'll get Jim Grimes next. I know he's been.
He's been itching to get on the pod.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
you have Aaron Rodgers coming into Hard Rock Stadium. Normally, in years past, I would say, this is kind of a, facing the Dolphins, nice weather.
Right.
You could just picture him having one of these standout games when you least expect it. Do you think this will happen this time around? Do you think Aaron Rodgers is finally going to flex?
I don't think so. I mean, he went 21 for 39, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, and he threw his first ever red zone pick six. He had a 92-yard pick six. Leonard Williams, of all people.
Big man.
Yeah,
TD.
running it all the way back to the house.
So here's what we do, Max, unless you're back on the Hard Rock app. Are you on the Hard Rock?
I am
betting app?
not. I
We
do
gotta-
not condone.
This is what we do.
We
on-
hammer the under.
No, we go into player props, and for anytime touchdown, we choose like a crazy, like some guy you would know, like Calais Campbell,
Campbell, yeah.
like
Chop Robinson somehow ends up with the touchdown.
Yeah,
pick six,
right.
and I bet you that it's got
That's that's
$2 probably pays you like $100.
That's probably like plus 1,000 odds.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Sure.
God. I would think it's probably like plus 2,500.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. But I'm not a betting man.
But maybe with Aaron Rodgers, it's super low.
Well, especially
could
what
be.
happened last week.
Yeah. Right.
Has there been any more of a train wreck than Aaron Rodgers' Jet saga?
Yeah. Oh my
'Cause
gosh.
The Jets came into this year.
It's just the
we're going to
Jets-
the Super
it's just
Bowl.
a chapter of the Jets saga.
We're
Or
going
two
to the
chapters.
Super Bowl. Jets going all the way.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to stop us. And here we are. The Jets are 3-9, and Aaron Rodgers looks like the trash that I took out last night.
Max,
Man.
he has your address.
Yeah,
I
first-
keep telling you
first-
this.
Come on over, Aaron. Let's talk.
First-
we can
media
talk.
book.
Fir-
The
Good.
media book.
First Odell Beckham Jr., now Aaron Rodgers.
We should get Odell and Aaron Rodgers in the same room, and we can talk about how bad they both are.
Between you and Jimmy Kimmel, when Aaron Rodgers retires,
Oh my gosh.
he's coming after you guys.
Yeah.
Good. Come on, Aaron. Come on.
Come
on
on
to the
down.
podcast, dude.
But I will say a
Because you'll need a
positive,
job after this.
a positive for the Dolphins, of course, playing a team that hasn't really been able to figure it out, with the addition of Devontae Adams. You have obviously Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. Over their last 10 matchups between the Dolphins and the Jets, the Dolphins are 8-2. And a lot of those wins are convincing wins. So
Yeah.
this is a big opportunity for the Dolphins this
Don't
week.
forget.
That sounds about right.
Don't forget a local guy, Jamie Sherwood, Jensen Beach guy, leading the defense in tackles.
Do you have his number in your cell phone?
No.
No, that's
No.
rare.
I
Usually
know.
the local NFL guys, you have full
Well,
texting capabilities.
I've also been trying to reach out to NFL media. They really haven't been very responsive.
It's ever
this
since
year,
you became a
so-
podcaster, it's taken a turn.
I
man.
know. They're like, I don't want to talk to this guy. On
The
podcast."
media.
Bright
I know.
lights.
I'm over here trying to bro it out now. I'm official, capacity of talking on a podcast
Yeah.
and one more guy. Is that Jamie Sherwood's number? Here, pass it on
No,
over, dude.
It's not. There's a doll in there because it's
Maybe
Maybe so wait. Speaking of fun games and stuff, do you have a game this
I
week,
have a
Max?
game this year. I have a
I don't have to
th-
unwrap
This
it.
year.
Jeez. I have a game this week. It's called Jetting Around.
Okay.
So obviously we know the Jets, okay?
Yes.
We all know about airlines. our favorite airlines, the Deltas, the Americans of the world.
What are some of your favorite Canadian airlines?
Air Canada.
WestJet is good. I think that's
WestJet.
Canadian, yeah.
Okay.
Air Canada.
Air Canada is the classic.
That's
and then
fair.
there's Porter, which is
Wherever
rare.
the
I
hell
haven't
that
taken
is. Is that
it's
the
like
Spirit? Is that the
high-class
Spirit
fun.
Airlines of Canada?
No,
no.
Porter's the opposite.
Like the Emirates of Canada.
Porter's like if you're Don Draper and you're back in 1960 getting all
Don
the service you
Draper.
could ever imagine on Mad Men. You ever
All
watch
right.
Mad Men?
No.
See, even terms of a show 10 years ago are too old for you guys. Like, come on.
You just said 1960.
Yeah, seriously.
It wasn't a 60s show. It was a show about the 60s.
I see. I see.
Okay,
I see.
big
All right.
difference.
So what
All
do you
right,
got?
so I'm gonna give the list of airlines.
Okay.
Right, and we're gonna go through the quarterbacks of the league. So you gotta tell me what airline you think matches up with quarterback, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and this is based off 2024. This isn't based
Just
off
You've
this
their
season.
career.
outdone yourself, man. This one's good.
I give
Yeah.
Sam credit for this.
For sure.
Uh,
Team effort.
Team effort.
Okay.
So we'll begin with the best, right? And again, this is based off 2024, not their careers, just how they're doing this year.
Okay.
The Delta Airlines of quarterbacks is who this year?
Oh, we're just coming up with the okay.
So Delta being the best.
This-
'cause
this- yeah, this helps out.
overall, Delta Airlines
Doing
is
it this way
considered
helps
the
out.
best.
Delta's never had a problem where they've had like a who was the airline last Christmas?
Alaskan,
That
where
was
the
a-
door blew
off.
off. Yeah.
Is that one of the?
You're talking about
No,
Boeing.
one
Yeah, those
later?
No,
Boeing
but we
ones.
can put the
You
added to
should.
the list.
You should
Okay.
definitely do that. Well, I'd have to say, by gosh, like it's Josh Allen, right? Is the Delta of quarterbacks? He has been absolutely incredible. He's taken a step up. He already was great,
Right.
and the Bills look as good as they've ever looked with what we thought was probably a weaker roster coming.
Yeah,
into the
less
season.
weapons.
Especially a
for sure.
receiving core.
Yes.
Yeah.
I-
Like who is the best receiver on?
I mean, it would
On
be
the Bills,
it
you
would be
know?
Amari Cooper, but
Yeah.
I think who gets more action would probably be Khalil Shakir, and I mean that's not a household name, so it's pretty surprising. But I would
Delta.
at Delta I'd probably go Josh Allen, and then I would slash with Lamar Jackson because
Wow.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
he's still in this MVP race.
It's hard to
yeah,
not. Yeah.
it is hard not to include him in that group.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm with you, John. I have Josh Allen as Delta. You just see what he's doing to NFL teams and just how much he's carrying the Bills. Unlike Tua with the Dolphins,
He
Josh.
threw a pass to himself in the last
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like,
a passing, rushing, and receiving touchdown.
I
mean,
hope
it's-
nobody here played against Josh Allen that week.
In fantasy, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
All right. Next one, we'll go to JetBlue.
Oof, I love JetBlue.
Which is the WestJet, the Canadian version of JetBlue
Okay.
is WestJet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the WestJet or JetBlue.
Whatever your little Canadian heart desires.
Yeah.
I would have to say Tua Tagovailoa because.
Whoa. In 2024.
Do you consider I haven't flown JetBlue in a while. It's because from what I remember, it's like an enjoyable flight, but it's just a little less expensive, and you're genuinely happy when you land, and it was a good flight.
Well,
no?
this is all up to interpretation.
Yeah,
There's been
Tua-
many
Tua- yeah.
polls about which airline's best. I just took this from
Tua
Forbes.
Tagovailoa is because they've had their problems. Like there's been a few delays, but once things get popping, the staff makes you feel real good about it, and you land relatively on time.
I got no problem with it. Based on the way that I interpret JetBlue, I mean, because I think I live and die by that airline, I would probably have to go. It's going to be another slash. It's going to be Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts
Wow.
this season.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I think those are two guys. What's happened to the Bengals this season is pretty insane because I think Jamar Chase leads in receiving yards, but they're like 4 games
Their
under
defense
500.
is just so bad.
Yeah, but he's been
Defense
playing
is
at
so
a,
bad.
otherworldly level. And Jalen Hurts, of course, the dual threat, rushing and passing. I'd probably have to go those two guys.
How many more airlines do we have here?
Let's see. We got 3 more.
All right.
Okay, let's whip through them.
All right. Real quick. I agree with you. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Upper echelon quarterback this
Yes.
year. Honestly, like if it wasn't for Josh Allen, I think Joe Burrow would easily be in the MVP race as well, just
Yes.
how well he's been playing football. So I have Joe Burrow number 2. All right,
I love this game.
number
There you go.
number 3. We're going Southwest Airlines.
All right.
Oh, Southwest. Ugh, you go first.
I'll go first. I'm going to go Tua. We talked about how good Tua's been playing this year. Reliable guy for the most part. This season, minus the injuries, reliable in the sense of his passing game. It's been consistent, 74.5% completion percentage. Tua, Southwest.
Southwest. Maybe Bo Nix?
Whoa.
The guy has, the rookie QB coming in and being very efficient and giving them right away. No remorse that they have him on the Denver Broncos.
I like that.
Should have started him sooner.
All right. I got Lamar Jackson there. Lamar Jackson is Southwest Airlines.
Wow,
so.
okay.
Let's go to the next one. Let's go to American Airlines.
See, I don't fly enough, so I keep questioning, is this a better
Well,
line?
here's how I can help you with American. I mean, they used to be the name.
They used to be the Delta of the world.
It used to be the arena name for the Miami Heat.
They've had some hiccups.
It's been taken off. So American. You know what?
These are all good airlines.
This is a sneaky one. I'm gonna go Russell Wilson. I'm gonna go Russell Wilson.
Right.
I mean, since he's taken over as a starter, I mean, he's been wheeling and dealing for this Steelers team.
Mm-hmm. Max?
I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes. Again, this is based off this year.
Yes.
It's been a very bumpy ride for Pat Mahomes. Granted, they're 11-1, they keep winning, but they're not winning pretty, and Patrick Mahomes has not been playing very well at all.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go Pat Mahomes as American Airlines.
I cannot argue with that. It was at the tip of my tongue. Exactly. Like he's good old reliable Patrick Mahomes. But you have no doubt in your mind that he's going to get you to the.
You're not going to crash.
The destination that you're far from going to crash. You're probably going to be landing at the foot of the Super Bowl. Likely, but just a little bit of a scary ride.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
Not like American Airlines has a lot of turbulence or anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get you.
Yeah.
Last one. We all love it. We all love it. We all love to talk about it. Who's the Spirit Airlines of the NFL this year?
Oof. Man.
/ Alaskan.
Slash Alaska.
/ Frontier. We'll just group all those in together, you know?
Yeah.
You know what's sad? I have to say it. The easy answer is Aaron Rodgers, but I have to say Skylar Thompson.
Wow.
The poor guy. The backup had his opportunity.
Wow.
Pure disaster in that game. They went out. They grabbed Snoop as soon as they possibly could. And then when they were winning big a couple weeks ago, they put Skylar in for, in the late stages.
Against the
and
Patriots.
His handoff to.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Skylar Thompson will play another snap for the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
Such a great guy, but I'll say that. I'll say for now, that's his claim to fame, Spirit Airlines.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll keep it brief. I'm going to go with your initial thought. I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. I think it's just been kind of all over the place for him this season. Not really reliable, very bumpy. You're concerned. You're worried in your seat. Aaron Rodgers.
I agree with that.
Yep.
I agree with that. Just, again, I know, when you go on a Spirit Airline, you don't have any high expectations. And granted, we had high expectations for Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
But God, it is so bad. It's like being cramped on an airline.
Stale
you got to pay
pretzels.
for everything.
Yeah.
You're sitting next to the toilet in the back.
You're
and it
likely
stinks.
going to get a viral video of some guy
somebody
punching
getting his
someone in the
Yeah.
face
a big
before you
fight
get out.
on Spirit Airlines.
Yeah.
So
That guy right there is not real.
I'm
You're
also
gonna have
going
one
to
of
say
those
this
people.
just to piss off our boss. I'll throw Aiden O'Connell in there as well.
Whoa.
Well, Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew.
Minshew.
Wow. You're just
You
talking
think
about
John
the
Brady will
entire.
Any Raiders quarterback.
Great.
Will our boss listen this late into the podcast?
I hope so.
I
This will
hope
be a
so.
test.
I
This will be a
hope so.
test.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah, we'll
Brady,
test
this
him.
is on you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Come and see us if you have any problems.
All right,
All
what
right,
do we
let's
got?
go.
This
Quick game predictions
Yeah,
for
we
the
got
end of the
this
show.
Sunday, 1 p.m. on CBS 12 News.
Yep.
Watch
We're
it.
airing it.
I'm going to have to go. This is tough. I'm going to have to go 34-24 Dolphins.
I'm waiting to see if
Give it-
ChatGPT will connect me here.
All right. Well, while he's
In the
waiting
meantime.
for that, I'll do that. Given the Jets a lot of points here, I like it. I think it's going to be a little bit easier. Sauce Gardner is dealing with a hamstring injury. He's
Yes.
questionable to go. I just can't trust the Jets offense, dude. They're 31st in yards per game, 23rd in passing yards per game, 29th in rushing yards per game. I mean, I think the only way that the Jets stay in this game is their defense.
Yes.
As bad as the Jets have been Defense is third in total yards given up, second in passing yards given up.
Wow.
So, again, Sauce has a lot to do with that. So, I'm going to go 28. I'm going to go Miami 28, and I'm going to go the Jets 14.
Okay.
And maybe we see a little bit of Jordan Travis as a homecoming.
I believe in Travis Wingfield's.
He is never going to
premise.
come on this podcast ever again.
Nope.
No, I drew a blank. So they are going to dare Tua Tagovailoa to throw deep in this game. And how much has Waddle and Tyreek Hill been salivating for this type of an opportunity? They're going to be on their game. It's at home. I'm seeing it too. I like this 34 number, but I'm going to say 34 to 10.
Whoa.
It's going to be a big victory.
Whoa.
Big time.
34-10 Miami. They got to get it. They will. That's
All
it.
right. All right.
Oh, well, we're waiting, dude. Is ChatGPT working or no?
No.
It's not working, so never
Well,
mind.
why don't you
That's right.
recreate the voice?
I mean,
You're-
last
you
week
got
you
a
guys,
habit of
you guys did
recreating
get
the voice.
your winner prediction right, having the Packers. You trying to do a little reverse psychology, but yeah, it didn't work.
The Miami Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium will play the New York Jets on Sunday. The victor will be the Dolphins by a score of 42-8. There you go.
Whoa,
That was
42 to 8.
42 to 8.
strange score, but
All right,
All right,
crazy
Chat
things are
GPT.
happening.
ChatGPT.
They're going to take over the world in about 10 years anyways. All right, we want to thank you for tuning in to
He'll be hosting
episode
this podcast next year.
13 of the Best Florida Sports Podcast. The three of us, new look, new design. Stay tuned when he opens these presents up. It's going to be a big deal. Thank you guys so much. Let's go Dolphins.
See you. Fins up.
Best Florida Sports Podcast drops every Thursday morning. Listen on your favorite platform or watch on YouTube.